Hey everybody, how's it going? We're out here doing a little content on a Friday. That's right. Yeah, well, I had a little break in my busy schedule today, and I thought I'd come out and play. Anyway, got something in the mail. Mm-hmm. Indeed, I did. Well, some of you who are subscribers and also friends on Facebook and follow me on the Tubular Lantern group, then you probably already know what I'm going to show you. But for those who don't, well, you're going to get a surprise. And I got a really cool lantern from a really cool guy for, well, the price I will not disclose because it's almost unheard of. Especially for this lantern. But anyways, I sold this friend of mine a really cool lantern, BUHL. Now this is a shout out to Mr. Mark Stowers, who's a BUHL collector. I sold him one of two of my only BUHLs. Mm-hmm. Now, some of you might say, what are you talking about, BUHLs? Are you a rancher now? No, the BUHL Stamping Company of Chicago, Illinois. Wait. Was it Chicago or Detroit? Oh my gosh. I'm totally like, I think it was Detroit. I think they were in Detroit. Yeah, excuse me. It wasn't Chicago. It's Detroit. Anyways, they made tubular lanterns and also milk cans. Yeah. So, anyhow, I had this one nice No.0 tubular square tube BUHL. And with the side lift and all that jazz. And, well, I had two. They are identical, except one had the match safe, and I decided to keep the one with the match safe. So I offered this other one to Mark Stowers, and he's like, absolutely, I'll take it off your hands. I'm like, cool. Very cool. So he bought it, and, he was originally going to try and come down and visit me, and we were going to do, he was going to pick up the lantern and hang out and have a fun evening, maybe barbecue some meat, have some bourbon, whatever, guy stuff. Anyway, that never did happen quite yet. So he asked me to ship it to him. So I shipped it to him this week. But also, I picked up something from him. Yeah. And he showed me a really cool BUHL lantern that he had a duplicate of that I am like, yeah, I'll take it. So this past Wednesday was payday, and I had a little extra kick in my kick. So a little boost in my step. So I'm like, well, I think I should pick up this lantern because it's very attractive, and it's not a very common one, and the price was just right. Yeah. So, without further ado, I'll give you the Coffin corner. Yeah, sure. I've wanted one of these BUHL Coffin corners for some time now. Is that neat? Each corner has two bends in it. They're scored and bent. So you have a really neat kind of gem cut, almost coffin-like profile to it, or silhouette. So that's really cool. It's a really neat piece. I've wanted one of these for some time. Now, other BUHL lanterns I've seen, or the ones that I've had, I think are a little later than this, but it could be wrong. But this one has BSCO on the back, on the top of the fount, for BUHL Stamping Company, and this is BUHL No.0 on the opposite side of the cap. Now, this thing is really interesting because it has some infringements about it. I call these the infringement benefits. BUHL, they liked, they wanted to be relevant and stay with current trends in tubular lantern design. I mean, who doesn't, right? You gotta keep up with the Joneses. Well, Dietz and SG&L, of course, had the square tube design patents, but BUHL decided to do the same thing. But they thought they would get around it with the extra sections in the square, the coffin style, but they didn't. And they didn't only do this style, they did the more traditional Dietz style, or with the or trapezoid, regular single cut, single joint. Anyways, this thing also has CT ham characteristics. The globe retaining clip, look at that. It's just like a CT ham. Yeah. And also the little retaining clips and the guide wire. See how this doesn't have wires on the side for guiding like a Dietz? It's just up here. This is very CT ham. Ham did this. So yeah, this has got ham characteristics and Dietz characteristics. So I'm not sure on the history about the ham infringements. I don't know if ham went after these guys for the same reasons Dietz did. But ham got in hock with Dietz on some things. It's interesting how Dietz really was, the power player on the block. And they really tried to control the market and the designs with all these patents so nobody could copy them, which I understand. They wanted to stand alone as their own thing. But anyways, this guy, they definitely do fetch a little bit of money on eBay. And ever since I saw one on eBay for the first time, I'm like, oh, that's really neat. Well, that one went for more than I wanted to pay. And it was, I think, in the $450 range somewhere. The first one I saw, that was 2019. When it came up on eBay. Well, one of these anyways, similar. And everyone since then only went up a little bit more and a little bit more. And then, was it early last year or late 2020? One came up on eBay and someone threw down $900. And it sold for like a little over $900. And I'm like, well, it doesn't look like I'll ever own one. Now does it? Yeah, so, I just chat with Mark Stowers ever so often. We have good conversations. He's a good guy. And, he's definitely a bull collector. He's also consumed other collections from people that are either getting out of the collection or they're, selling off stuff, to tie up loose ends, if you will. And so he happened to have this, and it was a duplicate of another one that he already has. And so he's like, you know what? I don't sell my bulls, but to you, I would make an exception. So he offered me this. And I says, yeah, let me work on it. I'll get you the dough. And so just this last Wednesday, I paid him for it, and it was a very, very generous friendship price, I'll tell you. I do owe him. I told him that because he gave me such a rockin' deal, if he comes down, I'm going to buy him a steak. I'm going to grill that steak because I'm actually pretty good at it, if I do so myself. I've had many confirm this, so it's not just me saying it. Anyways, I said, I'll grill you a steak, my own style. You'll like it, and I'll have bourbon ready for you because he does like his bourbon, just like me. So, yeah, I says, you come down, I'll entertain you for the night. We'll burn some lanterns, not steaks. Those will be done correctly. I won't say well done because, no, that's not what steak connoisseurs want. They want, a real steak. Anyways, I'm not going to get into styles, tastes, and trends of how to cook one steak here. But anyways, so he agreed. He said that would be fine, and he's looking very much forward to it. We just need to settle on a time that's convenient for him and myself, and we'll set it up. He's only maybe 4 hours north of here, so it's not terribly too far. So yeah, he would be definitely a neighbor in the lantern collecting world, I'd say. There's not too many of us locally in California. I have Steve Young is definitely the most local collector friend of mine, and also Steve Hilliard down in Long Beach, and there's a few other people hanging around that are starting to reveal themselves. But anyways, so Mark, shout out to Mark. It's in great shape. I love this thing. Now, for those at home, this thing will need a little bit of work. It has some repairs to the bottom, and I did spy 3 other pinholes that I'll have to seal. So did that make did that break the deal? No, of course not. He, of course, disclosed all the problems with this thing. And naturally, it's usually at the bottom of the fountain. Not a surprise. Now, when I got it out of the box, I noticed that there was things rolling around in it. So I looked, and it was a spare wick. There might be even 2 wicks spare in there. Anyways, so usually when you know, the old timers, they throw a couple wicks in there so they would soak up kerosene and be ready to use at a moment's notice if they, you know, ran out of wick on the previous wick. So they could just reload it quick and just, you know, have it ready to go. That makes sense. But over time, when the fuel dries up and evaporates, or they use it all and they put it away, then the fuel in those spare wicks will eventually cause the wick to stick to the bottom of the fount, and it'll turn into kind of varnish, if you will, and it gets dried out and gross, and then moisture will enter the equation and rust on the points of contact where the wick is on the bottom of the fount. So you'll get rust from the inside out, and that's unfortunate because, well, you know, these were tools. These weren't anything that anybody was planning to keep around for indefinite amounts of time. So the fact that it exists at all is really quite amazing. It really is. When you really sit down and think about it, it is amazing. So with that being said, it's not a big deal. It's not a deal breaker at all. It's a very rare lantern, and I paid a very fair price for it, and that means I'm going to be sealing the fount on this thing. But I've done that on many of my other lanterns, so it's not a big deal. It's par for the course, if you will. So with that being said, we're going to clean out the fount, get it all ready to go, and I'm going to have to order another can of Pour 15 because, well, that one's a little bit done. I think I used the last of my Pour 15 on the Pasadena City high-low that I recently restored. So with that being said, I'm going to get this fount all sealed up and very happy, and that'll give me time to blow out the old air tubes, get that corrected, and there is a little bit of lean. This thing does lean just a little bit like this, so I'm going to nudge it in the right direction, but I'm not going to clean it up much. I really am not going to do a crazy, you know, cleaning job on it. It has such a beautiful age to it. I like it just the way it is. I do. I can't lie. I will not lie. I will say that it'll stay this way. I'll probably polish the cone a little bit, maybe the filler cap, and just bring a little bit of that brass back, but I like this thing. Oh man, I like this thing. The globe is a beautiful marked number 10 bowl. So it is a marked globe, but it does sit a little shy of the retaining ring. So I have another one that's in my match safe that's actually a little tall for that lantern. So I might see if this one fits better than that one. And if the other one fits better than this one, then we'll swap them out. But anyways, it's cool. Very happy. Yes, it's a beautiful piece. So, once again, Mark, thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate your friendship, and I appreciate this lantern, and I will take very good care of it. And it's going to be a prized possession in the old collection here. So, there we go. Well, friends, that is the content for this Friday, May 6th. And we'll be doing, of course, another video come Monday, as usual. And I'll have something interesting to share, either lantern related or something pertaining to lanterns, I'm sure. I don't have any other projects to share, but who knows? You never know what the weekend will bring. So, yeah. With that being said, have a great one, and we'll see you guys again within a couple days. But definitely, by all means, have a great weekend, and we'll catch you later. All right. Bye-bye.